Hi, I'm David Norris, and I'm serving up the perfect podcast, Pompey Platter with Russ, Daz and Has. Play up, Pompey.
He used to be a waiter, did David Norris? Well, he's served up the perfect cocktail here.
Gera back to goal, Lang. Needs a bit of help. Goodness from Lang. What can he do? Still there, Lang. Lang! You wouldn't believe it! Cross comes into the near post. Headers into the net! Shaughnessy! Surely Pompey are heading for the championship! Portsmouth are promoted as League One champions.
Good evening and welcome to the Pompey Patter podcast. This is episode 29, Time to Preston the Panic Button. As ever, I'm joined by Has and Russ. How you doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, all good.
All good.
I always feel like I have to change my name so I can have a Z on the end.
Ruzz.
Yeah, Ruzz. Has and Ruzz.
We'll do that next week. We're good. Yeah, so after our bonus episode of David Norris last week, which is live up on all your podcast channels you like to go visit, so please go and have a listen to that if you haven't before. As we've said, it's probably our best episode to date. It's so much fun, good laugh, nice to pick the brains of an ex-Pompey legend. So yeah, go and have a listen. But this week, don't know if it's a good or bad thing, we're back to talking about Pompey's season. And tonight, we're going to talk about the Preston North End review. We'll move on to the Blackburn preview, a bit of Has versus Daz, Harry's Who Am I? And then we'll have any other business at the end. So, yeah, so it feels like a lifetime ago now, but we had Preston North End away before the international break begun. And not the greatest result. Performance a bit up in the air, which I think we'll discuss. And also we have some, I think it'll be interesting to go over John Mousinho's comments after the game. So, Preston North End away. I will go with Russ to start with. What's your opinions, especially on the first half? And I suppose the main talking point was Yengi and Bishop up top.
Well, I don't want Yengi anymore. I said it before, I would happily let him go come the summer. And I think we said beforehand, like in our group chat when we saw he was starting, and I remember saying, well, this is his time to prove us wrong, and he didn't. If anything, he made our point very loud. I don't know what's happened to him. He's not that same player that would just be a nuisance, cause defenders problems like he did, against Bolton and other teams, and just scared the life into players. Similar thing happened with Dane Scarlett, didn't it? He absolutely terrified defenders, and then it just didn't happen anymore. And when, in my opinion, when something's not working, it's time to move on.
Do you think, obviously Yengi's like all over, well, it's been quite a bad season. I think there's only the Preston game we said last time, wasn't it, where he looked a little bit better. Do you think it's down to the fact that he didn't start the season because of injury and he just hasn't been able to get into the groove, and then he's been picking up injury after injury, and then obviously the other one he picked up while away with Australia?
Possibly, there could be contributing factors. You listen to even like Norris, football. We don't know football. Do you know what I mean? We can only judge it for what we see on the pitch. I don't know if you guys seen Steve Claridge's Under the Cosh, podcast he done with him. And he was talking about, there's one of them where he was talking about Luton, where as soon as he got there, things just didn't happen. He didn't like it there, and it just didn't work. And that side of the game we just don't know about. Maybe is it because he didn't have a summer? But then he didn't have the best summers last year, if I remember rightly. He got injured. I can remember I've said it before, talking to Messino in the Pompey club shop, hoping, is he going to be fit? Is he going to be ready for the season? And he was confident. I just think his level is League One. I think he's a decent League One striker, and I just think the Championship's too much. It's the same with McIntyre, I said again before. They don't give me any glimpses or hope that other players do, give them time, like DazHarry, bring them up every week. I always could see he had the potential, and you could just see, give him time, give him fitness, give him games. I don't see it with Yengi. There's nothing he done against Preston that made me go, give him another 2 or 3 games, he could be fine. And it just completely killed Bishop as well. He's not a 10. And for me, it's kind of a bit of like, if you're going to play the two, then I know we don't like him in a 10, but if you had to say to me, Yengi and Bishop both have to start, one has to be a 10, there is no way I'm putting Bishop there.
Yeah, and I think obviously I guess where Messino's thinking is that, especially because Bishop's played a lot more games, more match sharp and stuff like that. If he's in that 10 and the ball goes in there, he can hopefully make it stick. And then, because the important thing with a 10 is that they can receive the ball, be confident with it, look to turn, maybe or just pop it back to the centre mid, or look to go out right, left, or even thread that ball through. So I'm guessing he was thinking that Bishop's probably sharper, his touch will be better. So maybe that is what he was going down, what his ideas were. But
when you're a team that press from the front,
yeah,
and Yengi's shown none of that at all this season, then, if that's basically, we are the second best team in the league at that. That is how we've won a lot of our games. It only started once Yengi come off.
Yeah.
There was no press at all until Yengi come off the pitch.
Yeah. And I think maybe Messino's giving Yengi that opportunity to shine. And I noticed it in the first half. I don't know if you did, Harry, but I did notice that it looked like Yengi was trying to win, especially in the first half, free kicks and things like that. And he was going down quite easily, but he was getting no change out of the ref.
Yeah, and I think that's someone that's coming back from injury and is trying to kind of make themselves fit. He's kind of drifted in and out this season. He hasn't had a consistent run, whether it's through injuries or not performing to the acquired level, even when he's been available at the beginning. And then it was Omani he was kind of put in. At times he's been left out, even for Waddingham on the bench. He's not made the bench because it's a selection issue, and that will be down to the fact of he hasn't trained well enough. I don't know whether there's something that we don't know about. I feel like there's more to it than, as Russ said, like the player that we had last season, he was almost unplayable against Bolton at home and Peterborough away, but he had such a pivotal part and he looked like such a player. And then I don't know whether it's gone to his head a little bit or whether there's something else. It's hard to know without all of the info, but from what we can judge by is he's not going to be getting that. I wouldn't trigger that extension on his deal, or offer him a new one as it stands. He has to have a pretty decent finish to the end of the season. It's just simple things like when it was against Plymouth when he came on and he was just trotting back from the Plymouth half. And if he'd actually got his arse back on side, he was through 1-on-1 with the keeper. And you think, just come on, let's just go for it. Let's put a bit of effort. And I get he's come back from injury and maybe doesn't want to stress the body and put himself at danger too much. But this time last year, or a lot of last year, people were having discussions that he should be starting over Bishop, and the Bishop wasn't good enough. He was better than Bishop. He isn't, and he never was. However, I think it was part of the unknown, because he was so raw last year, coming in fresh from the A-League. We knew what Bishop was like anyway, and a lot of people did. Defenders didn't really know how to defend against him, and maybe part of that is they've also worked him out as well. So there's a whole multitude of reasons why it hasn't worked, and I hope he is okay. I hope there isn't anything kind of off the pace. But if he wants a new deal here, he's going to have to step it up a bit, no matter what's happened.
Yeah, it's that saying, isn't it? Like, players become better when they're not playing, because I think that's sort of. I think a lot of football fans are guilty of it. They want to see, especially new players, they want to see them on the pitch without really knowing much about them. And when we all know that sort of Bishop is always going to be a better striker than Yengi, but you do get certain sets of fans that want the player that's not playing. And they think
Crazy.
they're better.
Like, you still see people saying to start Yengi ahead of him after what we watched against Preston. It just baffles me. That's when you've just got an agenda.
Right now, I actually would rather see Waddingham start over him.
He did more. He did more in that 15 minutes against West Brom than Yengi has all season.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's O'Mahony or Omani. I keep saying his name wrong. That is second to Bishop in the striker pecking order. Easy for me to say. And obviously now he'll definitely be, because especially for a little while Yengi's recovering from his hamstring he picked up, hamstring injury he picked up.
You said something earlier, and you're not wrong in what you said, Daz. This is more at Messino. Is you said, you can see what he's trying to do. Give him a chance. Give him time. For me, this ain't a time to give players a chance and time. Get the fucking job done. Play your best players in the right positions when you can. Obviously, we've had injuries, and let's just get the job done. If we had won against Preston, we're pretty much done. Then we've still got, how many games have we got left? 7.
Yeah.
Then as the season strips off, you can then let's play Yengi. Let's give him 2 or 3 games from the start because the season will be done. Now we've got in this predicament where we're looking over our shoulder again. This wasn't the time to experiment Yengi up front against them. It should have just been Bishop up front. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And that's it. I mean, mate, I'm guessing Messino is playing the strongest team he thinks, and especially I'm hoping that's what he felt, because you don't want, as you said, Russ, you don't want to be that whole experiment at this point of the season. I mean, if we were still 10 points clear going into the Preston game, even then I'd probably understand if you want to experiment a little bit. Yeah. But I'm hoping Messino thought that was his best starting lineup, and I'm sure it would be, because we're not in the position for him to make those sort of experimental decisions right now. So I don't think Messino's that silly to make a sort of a mistake like that where he doesn't feel that's actually his strongest 11.
The bit he was silly on was not bringing them off sooner.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't agree with the fact that he should have come off at half time, because it's always that thing where you come in.
Oh no, Daz, he should have come off at half time.
But you come in at half time, and there's certain players where you'll pick up and say
10 minutes. That's all you should have got.
You've got 5 minutes. You've got 5 minutes to prove me that you're doing something in this game. 5 to 10 minutes. It's just the way it happens. Like, unless someone's, and don't get me wrong, I don't think you played particularly well in that first half, but unless it's like let's say a defender makes 2 or 3 different mistakes and they score from all of them, he comes off at half time, and that's what happens. But with a striker, you always seem to think, give him another 5-10 minutes, maybe give him some different instructions, maybe adapt the way the team are going to play, and then see how he does. But even in that time that he was on in the second half, he didn't take his opportunity, did he? I can't really remember too much. I thought we were the better side.
Oh, we're far the better side of the first half. I remember Devlin going through on goal, and he probably should have done a bit better. Really, it was really good play. Preston were awful all game. Even David Norris spoke about it last week, and I was a bit surprised with Guy Whittingham and Andrew Moon. They always praise them. When Pompey are shit, they will tell you. They're not like some of the other commentators you listen to. You think, oh, what game are they watching? And they were really praising Preston in the second half, and I thought, no, they were shit. It was, in my honest opinion, that was a really bad result. I was so angry after that.
We really should have, and it was another game where we've gone in at half time or at the end of the game. It's happened so many times this year where we've gone in and we've come out at the end of the game of ruin our chances, because we had a few chances in that first half where we should have done better. Our play was on top, and you can tell by how bad Preston were, because Heckingbottom made 4 changes at half time. A manager doesn't do that if he's happy with the squad. He must have let some rip, I tell you, because he wouldn't be doing that otherwise. He wouldn't be making 4 changes. We were dominant, pretty much. Dominant, maybe not, but certainly on top, and should have been in front going in there. And he made 4 changes, and then I think that's where we kind of lost out, is just because in the second half those changes started to tick and they kind of gained a bit more momentum and they had more of the ball. They were just on top, and we kind of regressed a bit too much and found ourselves behind. But the goals we'll get onto, I'm sure. But again, it's all because of our own fault. It's more goals. How many we could probably have less conceded about 20 less goals this season at least, if we just weren't sloppy and stupid, because we've conceded so many goals. Some goals we've conceded have actually been good goals, like goals you can go, actually that's a good bit of play, they're good, the build-up's good, the finish is good. Like Michael Smith's goal against us at Sheffield Wednesday, right? The build-up is poor, but the actual finish is unbelievable. You can't do anything about that. But conceding from a free kick that's 60 yards up the pitch, that is just bullshit. There's no excuse for that. To lose 2 headers and then lose it to go in at the back post, that's just so poor, and there's no excuse. It's just sloppy.
It was one of them where it's good job Ogilvy's done what he's done, because how he lost his man, I think he would have got slaughtered if he hadn't been playing the way he has. And Gordon as well, like, I know he's young and new, but he should be allowing your man that much ease to be able to win the header. But I will bring up, and I don't mean you've had a bit of a ding-dong, Harry, over it. Not badly. I don't care what anyone says. That goal should never have happened. That was never a free kick. I've even watched it back 10 minutes before we came on. Shoulder barge, and Omani was through on goal. Like, that ref just gave him, whether it's 60 yards or not, an advantage that they didn't have when Omani got the one that shoulder barged the player, and he was off. He was through on goal.
I don't disagree with that. I don't think it was a free kick at all. I do agree with that. The bit I disagree with you on is the fact that whether it's a free kick or not, the referee has decided it is. So you have to take it that it is a free kick. You have to then not stand there and go, "Oh, it's not a free kick, we don't need to defend it properly."
Oh, no.
It's 60 yards up the pitch. Whether it's a free kick or not, the ref decided it was. To then concede from that when it's in their own fucking half is like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
And I 100% agree with you on that. They got let's forget it, free kick or not, the goal was embarrassing to concede. But my point is the ref has to take some blame in that, because it's never. And what annoyed me even more, and I know why he done it, and Whittingham actually made a good point. I didn't realise at the time because I was probably too busy ranting. Just before that, the same thing happened on the edge of their box from their defender, and it wasn't given. The only reason why he gave that was because he was probably fearing that he might get it wrong, and if Omani had gone on to score, and it, got rolled back, and it turns out he did, he got him in the back and not the shoulder, then he would be in the shit. So it was just easier and safer to give the free kick, which is wrong.
But you can't do that as a ref. You've got to be consistent.
They do, but they do.
You either give both or you give none.
But you don't do that though. That's the problem.
And that ref all game was shocking.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing it. Like, the players, the both goals were horrendous. We should have finished our chances, but
And the thing is, for me, like, I said it in our WhatsApp group, didn't I? Because when you two were both mentioning it, I was saying, well, both are right. Like,
we both were right.
Spot on, because the penalty, it shouldn't have been a penalty, it should have been a free kick, but we need to defend better. Now, I don't mind, like, if we concede from that area, of the ball going in, because you can just lose one header, lose the other, just happens in football. But the fact that it didn't seem like they had to work for that goal. They had to work for the first flick on, but then after that, it just looked too easy. Now, if their player had flicked it on and then another player had to work really hard to get a header and then he just looped it in, you hold your hands up because you're like, well, they've just done well there. But the fact that it was one header, and then after that we just looked like we went to pot, and that's the thing I can't get on board with, and I'm not happy about that side of it.
I'll tell you what though, what I was really encouraged by was the fact, because that was what, 75th minute, 74th minute.
Yeah.
Like the way we've been, especially away from home, I thought that's it. Like we ain't getting nothing now. Our heads will go.
Yeah.
And we actually turned it on them. Like we were right. We pinned them in their own half.
We had a good 10 minutes of constant pressure, didn't we?
Yeah, and
We
it's
responded
like,
well.
blimey, like they've never done this. Like normally if we did that away from home before, a second or a third would have gone in.
So that is like, obviously from that corner, which obviously we'll get onto the Bishop goal now. Because when we made those changes, was Bishop pushed up into the 9? He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was.
I think we went 2 up top, didn't we?
Yeah,
we went 2 up front.
Well, I believe, I'm not sure if that was his first on target or his second, but that was one of Bishop's 2 shots on target, and it sort of makes you realise that if maybe he'd started in the number 9 position, he maybe would have had a couple more opportunities, and then you could have been talking about more than 1 goal for Bishop. But it was a very fox in the box finish, wasn't it, Harry?
Oh, it was a great finish.
I'll tell you what, we were saying about how bad our defending was. From a Preston point of view, to concede a volley from within your 6-yard box or on the 6-yard box line from a corner
with a
is
crafty
also
style kick,
fucking atrocious. To let that ball come there and let him score with the outside of his right foot and flick it in, it's a cracking finish and it's a cracking goal. But from a Preston point of view, all of the goals could have basically been preventable if the defenders actually did their job. Because it was a great finish, but to allow that to drop that low in your 6-yard box from a corner is not good.
No, definitely not. And I think we go from... is there anything else you want to say about the Bishop goal? Was there anything...
No. We were on top. It was coming. It was a great instinctive... It's a finish where this is where I argue with those who like Yengi. Yengi never would have done that.
Right.
No. I just think once we scored that goal, I think we kind of got a bit too excited.
Well, that was what Messino's one of Messino's biggest gripes wasn't it? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, yeah, it was just the point away from home is always. I always say it. There was no need to go and get another goal. I was quite happy with the draw.
I think it felt like we got a bit too excited and went, oh fuck it, well, let's just go for the win when we didn't really need to. And then that's when we went 2-1 down. Obviously, went through on goal 1-on-1.
But then 2 minutes before that, Schmidt pulled off an excellent save, and you think that would have been the warning sign of, oh shit, we better, sit back here a bit. And then they didn't learn their lesson.
Yeah, and obviously it's and that is one of the things Messino was talking about, wasn't he, regarding fouling early, which is something I like to see from our team, because it's stopping it at a point at the very start. And obviously we didn't do that. And then when you've got someone like it's Robbie Brady, wasn't it? Robbie Brady that played him through?
Yeah.
I was making sure that was
with his weak foot as well, and he's so heavily one-footed as well. It's unreal.
But the thing is, you got a player there that's top championship quality player. I know he's probably coming more towards the end of his career, but to give a player like that time, and I hate the ball over. I hate a ball over the top and getting caught out by that, because especially as a defender, it's one of the worst feelings you see when the ball goes over your head and you see a striker going in. I mean, it was a great touch. I don't think there's much Schmid could have done about it.
No, at first I thought, what the fuck has he done, Schmidt? And then when I watched it back, obviously with the replay, he would have just took the player out,
Yeah.
and then he would have got red carded, and then I mean, he was
He
left.
ended
with
up
little
in no
choice.
man's land, though, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
But-
and even if he stayed back a little bit, I don't. He might have pulled off a worldie.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that's the consequence of asking Schmidt to play, because they ask him to play high, don't they? Because they want him to more sweep up and him to be able to get involved with the play higher up rather than him sitting on his 6-yard box. So that's the kind of a consequence you get from that. But that, I mean, it's a bit like the free kick we were talking about earlier. It's like, that's the free kick's not the problem. It's how we reacted to it. So it's the fact that Robbie Brady gets that ball and we haven't reacted to it. If we'd have reacted better, you probably, like, Schmidt wouldn't have to have worried about what he needed to do. And to be fair to the lad, it was a great touch. Obviously, he pushes it past Schmidt, and then it was a good finish from the angle. And it was
a great finish from the angle.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 that doesn't go in.
No.
Because he's curving it away from the goal.
Because then that would be when you would look at Schmidt and go, oh, why don't he put him off? I think Schmidt did the right thing. Even because when he went past him, I didn't go, oh God, like I generally didn't think he was going to put it in the net. But there's been a couple of goals like that this season where you just sort of think, how the fuck did that go in? The Blackburn one there, though, and it was like, how did that go in?
But that's it.
It's happened a lot this season.
But it's been in the Championship. You come in like a much higher division. You're playing against players that probably could play bottom end Premier League and stuff like that. If you're playing against bottom half League One, as in like last season, and someone goes through, there's a chance you could miss it. I mean, look at one off the top of my head, like Sam Smith against us at Reading when he was through 1-on-1?
Yeah,
I think that would have made it 3-1, and he skies it over. I think he gets around the keeper, doesn't he? Skies it over. Yeah. That probably doesn't happen in the Championship, and as we've seen, where some of these players of how they finished and stuff like that, it's frustrating. So, I mean, we'll move on to Messino's comments after the game. I, for one, was happy that he came out because that's the first time he's come out. I like the way he conducted himself. He didn't shout and like. He looked angry. He sounded angry, but he was very. Is it eloquent with how he said?
Controlled, I'd say, wasn't he?
He got his point across really well. But yeah, Russ, what do you think of his comments after the game?
I always like managers that come out and just say as it is. Always have done. It was always my issue when we had Steve Cottrell years ago, where every game it was the ref's fault. Even if we were absolutely shocking. I remember we got stuffed by Burnley 5-1, and it was not Burnley. It was the Coventry 3-0 on a Tuesday night, and we were awful, but it was the ref's fault. You know what I mean, and I get some managers like to protect players. But sometimes they do need, the truth. It weren't good enough. It wasn't. I was so angry. That's might be the angriest I've been since we got slaughtered at the beginning of the season against like Stoke or someone, because it was just unforgivable. You're playing against a really poor team. We smashed them down here. They were awful up there. They're one of them teams that would just stay there because they got enough to keep them up. But they're never going to do anything. I mean, and I think obviously what happened with Plymouth didn't help as well. You sort of look at it and thinking that's all right. We didn't maybe not deserve to win both them games, but we should at least be drawing it with them. And then another 2 points, 6 points clear looks better, feels better. You're on a roll. I'm just glad the international break came when it did, because it just sort of gave us a chance to reset a little bit.
I think we would have. I think if we had Blackburn or another midweek game straight after, I feel like we would have probably gone on a potentially 3 or 4 losing game streak. So I think Messino's comments are honest, and we want honesty from our manager. And I think he probably has covered for them, especially with the more embarrassing scorelines this year. West Brom, Stoke, Cardiff was an embarrassment as well away. He has covered for them at points this year, but this is crunch time. He's going to be feeling the heat because he knows the pressure that is on him. and he knows that we were in a really good position 2 games ago. We were 10 clear, and 2 games later after Leeds, we were fucking flying. We were so high everyone was excited. We've just had new contracts for people. we just beat top of the table Leeds 1-0, and we're 10 clear, and we gone and shat the bed against Plymouth, and then we lose Preston, and now we're 4 points clear, and we've dragged ourselves right in it, and it's because of ourselves. So I think it was right to do it. There needs to be a point where someone just kind of wake up the players a bit. Maybe they were a bit naive and a bit too comfortable, thinking, we're all right. After the Leeds game, we've got this. And it's a reminder that you're not there yet. But I think he needs to take a bit of responsibility himself, which I'm sure he will do away from the camera and away from interviews, because obviously he got the lineup wrong, waiting for subs is too late, with like the Yengi situation and stuff off it, and taking off Oshish as well as your first sub.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He was like the only person that really looked like he was doing something, and he took him off first, which really baffled me.
I'm glad you brought up Oshish, because that was completely aware it's been 2 weeks. That was a really bizarre decision, wasn't it? Really, and at that point they kept Yengi on. Am I right?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I'm going to be honest, like, in the first half, I was thinking to myself that I didn't think, for me, obviously, that's people see the game differently, and like, I'm not saying you guys, like, that Ashish didn't do anything, but, like, for me, I felt like Ashish wasn't, in the first half, very, like, wasn't really at it. I think maybe that because they put him out on the right, and I don't think he's as...
No, he won't have an amazing game.
No. But I think Yengi should have been the first one off, yeah.
All the good things that seemed to come from him. The breakaway with Devlin should have done better. Happened because of Oshish. I mean, the great ball control turn and then the outside boot pass into Devlin perfectly on the plate to him.
Yeah.
It was he looked like the one. No one's playing exactly brilliantly, but he was the one that looked like who could produce something. A bit like against Plymouth.
Yeah.
I just find it was a bit of when Yengi was having such a bad game, it made more sense to put Oshish behind Bishop and bring on Richie or Gordon or whoever. And it just didn't make any sense to me when they brought him off.
Yeah, and as has said, I was going to be the next point I was mentioning about that was the fact that obviously I saw people come out and say even though Messino's angry at the players, he should be angry at himself, and maybe is the frustration in his voice, and maybe that's part of his anger. But I mean, that doesn't forget, like, obviously he puts the players out on the pitch, and part of it's down to him. But for me, most of that was the players not putting in certain effort in certain parts. And it wasn't like they did it for the majority of the game. As I think Messino said, you can play well for 85 minutes, but that doesn't matter if you don't come away with a result. And obviously we played pretty okay, maybe well, like up until we'd equalised. And then after that, we just went off on like a tangent and went on our own sort of like path when that was clearly what Messino didn't want. And I'm glad he called the players out, but what I'm also glad is that he didn't single players out. It's a collective, and that's what you want from a manager. You don't want to go after one individual and stuff like that, because I don't think as a squad, I don't think any of those players deserve it, because they all seem like honest lads, and I'm hoping that maybe these 2 weeks that Messino can get in at them. And I think he said in his post-match comments that it wasn't going to be a nice week for the players at training. So I would guess that's a bit of running and maybe him hammering in his ideas, and hopefully they get that come this weekend. Is there anything else you guys like to talk about Preston, or should we move on to Blackburn?
No, I can move on. No.
As you all good?
Yeah, let's move on.
Lovely. So, this Saturday we play, I think the Preston's quite close to Blackburn, so maybe potentially one of their neighbours. It's Blackburn at home, Saturday, 3:00 kickoff, back at Fratton Park. Yeah, so as I said, I'm not going to take your limelight away from Ref Watch and stuff like that. I've learned last time. So take us away with the ref and maybe a Blackburn preview.
Yeah, so the ref is called Jeremy Simpson. He's only refereed 4 championship games this season. The rest of them have been in League 1 and League 2. So he's kind of a little treat for him. He's ref 3 previous Pompey fixtures, all when we were in League 2. 2012-13, lost away to Exeter 3-2. 2015-16, our win away to Bristol Rovers, and our 2016-17 loss away to Donning. So it's the first time he's refed at Fratton Park, so let's get on top of him and make it hard for him to make decisions and boo him and God knows what else. Blackburn, it's a difficult time because they're on a pretty dire run, to be honest. They're unbeaten, haven't won in their last 5. Lost to Swansea, drew to Norwich, lost to Derby, lost to Stoke and lost to Cardiff. So they're kind of who we want to blame really for not helping us. But if everyone else around us is beating him, we've got to too. So they're doing all right. They're in 9th place. Obviously, they had a change in manager. Obviously, you had John Eustace, and then he went to Derby, and it's Tony Mowbray now. Is it Tony Mowbray?
No. Ishmael. Oh, what's his surname? He was at Barnsley.
Oh, yeah. I
can't remember what his surname is, but it's Ishmael something. Because I don't want to.
Where's Tony Mowbray then?
He's around his. He's in this division somewhere, isn't he?
Oh, is it West Brom?
I think he is, isn't he? Yeah.
They just changed. He's been at so many clubs, it's hard to remember which one he's at.
The shop. Is it Ishmael Valerian or something like that?
Yeah, that's it. The Watford one. Yeah. He obviously hasn't had the kind of kick new manager bounces that they like to have. So something we've got to kind of take advantage of. They haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 5. They haven't won in 5. They've only scored 3 goals, whereas we've scored 5. But we've got to take advantage of it. We've got to kind of be on top. I'm going to go. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And nab Bishop.
Lovely. Russ, I'll let you go next.
We have to beat them. It's a must-win in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with the fixtures the others have all got. Like, there's a chance to create a bit of space pending results go away. You know, you got a Hull Luton. I'd probably actually say I'd want Hull to win. I'm quite happy to have a team coming. You know, as long as we win, they can win. You know, Watford to beat Plymouth, but I still think Plymouth are down. I don't think they got a chance staying up. Cardiff got Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday, a bit of a funny team. You know, hopefully a draw or win there. Who else has everyone got? Middlesbrough at home to Oxford. So hopefully Borough can do a job against them. Who have Derby got? When are they playing? They're playing Sunday.
No, I think they're playing like me. I think they're the 2nd or 3rd. I think I saw them.
Were they supposed to have Preston? Yeah. So they got Preston at home. The way they're flying and the way how shit Preston are, I wouldn't be surprised if they win that. So for me, I missed one, and I Stoke. Who's Stoke got?
QPR.
QPR, who are a bit on a low at the moment, aren't they? So
they're not. They could be drawn into it. They're not out of it yet.
So this is for me is a must win. Obviously. And I think we can at home. Bit of a break. Blackburn all for it at the moment. 3 goals in 5 games, no wins, as Harry said. I'm gonna go 2-0. Who's your scorer?
Bish.
I was gonna go Bish. I'll go Murphy then. He's due to do something.
I think I was just going to kind of say, like, it is a must-win. I don't feel confident after our last 2 games, and that's why I've gone for a draw. I want us to win. I think we could, but it does feel like a must-win, doesn't it? Because of our away form. Our away form is so shit. We've got Millwall, which is not going to be easy because it's Millwall, and then we go to Coventry, who are now fighting for the playoffs. So if we don't win on Saturday, we could return against Derby, which is our next home game. We could be in the relegation zone, which is fucking worrying.
Exactly.
Because
But I
really,
think the boys know it. I think Messina knows it. We're at home. Hopefully the crowd turn up like we have done all season. I just hope everything just clicks and we just get the win. I don't care how well we play. I don't care if we play shittest football you've ever seen. Just get the job done.
Yeah, I think you need to probably get 4 points from the next 3 games as a minimum.
Yeah. And that's it. I think with Blackburn, especially from what I've seen of them, the way that Ishmael likes to play, is that he likes to get the ball forward, I think, as quick as possible, and he also likes to press quite high. So really, that's what we beg for teams to come and do down at Fratton, because
it's another Leeds, isn't
it? We're comfortable doing that and getting out of it. So let's hope that is the case. Blackburn do press, which is weird, because a lot of the times you wouldn't want teams to press you so much because you don't want to risk like conceding. But for us, it works better for us. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, as I said, the 2 weeks we've had off, that they'll be like getting into the players, and I'm sure, as you said, Russ, the players know they'll have people like Pack and Richie and Bishop and players like that around them that like will pick the other players up and get them going again. I did go for 2-0 as well. Are we allowed to go with the same scoreline?
Yeah.
I did go for 2-0 as well. I did have Bishop to start with, crossed him out. Then I had Murphy, so I've now crossed him out. And I'm going to go for Oshish, because I'm hoping he'll be back in the 10. And yeah, hopefully he'll be able to like pick one off. And then I reckon Bishop's probably going to get our second. But yeah, as Russ said, for me, it's a must win. And I'm always wary of saying about must wins until they are actually must wins. But we're now in that last part of the season now where certain games need to be wins.
If we want to have a more comfortable end to the season and not have it go down to the end and down to Hull, if we don't want that, then we need to start pulling our fingers out of our arse and start getting a few points.
Definitely.
Because otherwise we're going to end up doing that, and we don't want to really be playing a team like Hull, who could be the team if they win, they could put us in there or something, and we don't want that in the last day. We want to have the last day I want it settled before then.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. I agree. So then we can all get down Fratton in the sun, have a couple of beers, have a cuddle, and then knowing that we're safe. There was something I was going to say, but
I was going to bring up about who do you think we should start with.
Oh yes, that was actually.
Yeah. And is there any news on injuries coming back? Like Williams?
Yeah. So Messino had his presser yesterday. It was Milosevic, Williams, and Sadie are all fit and available. Shaughnessy is a fortnight away, with Atkinson slightly further behind. All the other injured players are on the grass except Hayden Matthews and Paddy Lane.
I didn't even realise Sadie was injured. I thought he just wanted the squad.
He's had his arse reduced.
Yeah, fair enough. So
I just realised what you said then.
Reduced.
What kind of? I was like, what was that about? I don't know. No idea. And it's
better not add. It's about the only good thing he's got.
So obviously we kind of talked about, didn't we? We think that Milosevic should be starting.
Oh yeah, all day long.
Personally, yeah.
More for Millwall. Like, I want him to get minutes so he's ready for Millwall.
Yeah. And I think he's the type of player that will relish going to Millwall as well. So give him some minutes in this game. As I said, it's especially for a centre back. And if you haven't played a certain amount of games, it's better to start a game, feel yourself into it, and then if you do have to come off, you can come off after 60, 70 minutes.
Yeah,
And,
I think you're exactly right, Daz. That's exactly what I'd be looking to do. Get him 60 to 70 minutes in the tank and and still bring him off. Even if he goes, no, I feel fine, I think you still take him off.
And move Ogilvie into centre back alongside
and bring
Paul,
Bramall on.
And then bring Bramall on. And I think that's the sub that probably 90% of Pompey fans would probably want to see. I think you need to have two natural centre-halves, and nothing against Ogilvie. He did pretty decent. We looked better with him there than Pack, because he had played there at Gillingham. All right, it was as a back three, but he had experience there. Bramall has actually done pretty well and impressed since he's arrived. But you want two proper fit centre-halves there, don't we? And whether if it's for 70 minutes, we might be comfortable by then, you don't know, and then you bring him off, and then you look for Millwall to probably play the whole game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think, as kind of you said, the rest of the team kind of picks itself. Ogilvie left back, Swanson or Devlin at right back. It really doesn't matter.
What about Williams if he's fit?
Yeah, but he's not match fit though, is he?
Mm.
Maybe he's on the bench, but then again, do you want two? You could potentially have three fullbacks if you have Bramall, Devlin, and Williams.
But with Devlin, like he could do your job like he did with Leeds, where you could put him in as a 10. I was shocked, actually, go back, to Preston, that Devlin didn't start in the 10.
Yeah.
Like, he was unbelievable against Leeds. How he didn't start in the 10. Was Swanson injured, or was he on the bench? Generally, it's been 2 weeks now.
I think he was on the bench.
He was on the bench.
So it wasn't like, okay, Swanson's injured, he needs to go back and play.
Unless Swanson had a little bit of a knock, we don't.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
If Devlin can, if we could, I would have Swanson or Williams and Devlin on the bench, just because if we need it, Devlin can go in the 10.
Yeah, but I think the rest of it's probably Dazelle and Potts, Murphy, O'Shea, Ritchie and Bishop. It's quite easy.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree. No, I agree. And it'd be nice, I think, if we can beat Blackburn, obviously with Derby playing midweek against Preston, that'll put, not that, I don't know if Derby are feeling the pressure anyway, but it'll maybe put a little bit of pressure on them when they feel they have to. I mean, they've got to win pretty much every game, and they will keep picking up points. So, yeah. Anything else about Blackburn? Or should we move on to Has versus Daz?
Let's go.
Has versus Daz then. Russ, take it away.
Okay. So the current score is Has 8, Daz 11. So what we're going to do this week, you're both going to have a minute on the clock.
Right.
And you basically it's basically me saying yes or no, and you're trying to guess the player. You have a go each.
So we're doing Harry's Who Am I?
Nah, not really. It's different. You're giving us clues, we're guessing the player. This is you guys, basically 20 questions, but you get unlimited questions, but you've got a minute.
Right, okay.
You with me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so Daz is actually no, I'm going to give it to the advantage to Has as he's behind.
Oh,
do you want to go first? Do you want the first set of players or the second set, or the first set of players or the second set of players?
First, please.
Okie doke. So, your minute starts. You can ask any question along as it's a yes or no answer.
Okay.
If I'm not sure, I'll just say pass. If I can't give a definitive yes or no. All right.
Okay.
Right. Go.
Are they part of our FA Cup winning team?
Yes.
Are they a defender?
No.
Are they a midfielder?
Yes.
Papa Boupa Diop.
It is. Well done. Great first question, because it narrowed it right down.
So we go carry on, yeah? Just another player?
No, that's it. You got your one. Now we go on to Daz.
Oh, okay.
So let me just put the score in. So
what a player he was, by the way.
He certainly was. Felt like he didn't get the love he deserved at the time.
He's one of those that, because he wasn't he wasn't the most Like, because he was such a big boy, because he's the wardrobe. Like, I think he's one of those players you only kind of really see how good they were once they've gone. It was like
He was
Moussa
definitely that.
Dembele at Spurs.
Yeah.
It's only when you take him out of the team and once he'd gone, you realise, like, you wonder why everyone that Moussa Dembele played for said, who would you want in your five-a-side team? Everyone, De Bruyne, all of the Belgian lot, everyone says Moussa Dembele because he was an unbelievable player. But you only realise that once they're gone.
Right, Daz,
Go on.
are you ready?
Yep.
Go.
Has this player won a league with Portsmouth?
No.
Has this player won a trophy with Portsmouth?
No. Well, hang on. What do you define trophy?
Any trophy?
Oh, I suppose it's not. I'm going to say no.
No. Oh, buggered now, aren't I? Has this player played for Pompey since 2020?
No.
Since 2010?
No.
Since 1990?
Yep.
I'm done here.
So you just gave yourself 30 years.
I know. I think I'm done with this one. I can't think. Did he play up front?
Yes.
Guy Whittingham?
No.
Paul Walsh?
No. 5 seconds.
Jerry Creaney?
No.
Oh, nah. Done.
Right. Final guess. I meant to say you get a final guess after the time was gone.
So a striker, he's played in the 1990s. John Aloisi?
No.
Ugh.
I mentioned him earlier. Steve Claridge.
Ugh.
Right. Has a chance for 2-0 now. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
1 sec. I forgot to reset the timer. Right. Go.
Have they played for us since 2015?
Yes.
Have they played under Kenny Jackett?
Yes.
Did they win the EFL trophy with us?
Yes. Oh, wait. Sorry. What was that?
Did they win the EFL trophy?
No.
Lloyd Isgrove?
No.
Are they a striker?
No. Well, no.
Is it a winger?
No.
Midfielder?
No.
Defender?
Yeah.
Defender that didn't win the trophy. Rasmus Nikolaisen?
No.
Fuck.
10 seconds.
Just don't even know. Just mine's gone, mate. I need to think of someone anyway.
That is time, but you get your final guess.
A defender wasn't there. I'm trying to fucking hell. I'll just keep going for the people that won the EFL trophy. Really doesn't help. God. Jesus Christ. I've got no idea. Let's move on.
Well, I thought I might gave away when I giggled about him being a striker. It's Drew Talbot.
He wasn't here under Kenny Jackett.
He was.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was Kenny Jackett that got rid of him.
I thought it was Paul Kirk.
No,
he was still here.
he was still here.
Steward's inquiry.
That's fine. I've got it in front of me.
I just need to see it for myself.
Steward's inquiry done.
Right, that's your chance to get back in the game. Are you ready?
Yep.
Go.
Has this player won a league with Pompey?
No.
Have they won a trophy with Pompey?
No.
Have they played in the 1990s?
Yes.
Are they a defender?
Yes.
Kit Simons?
No.
Ray Daniels?
No.
Can I just keep guessing?
Yeah, you can do what you want. You got
Adrian Whitbread?
No.
Russell Perrett?
No.
Robbie Pethick?
Hey! Well done. 1-1. Right, Haz. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
Right. Hang on a minute. Where's his info gone?
If that was for Harry would have been, what's a Robbie Perfect?
Yeah.
I have heard of him.
I've got a picture book with me and Robbie Perfect when I was ball boy. Not ball boy, when I was mascot.
Oh,
Beautiful moment.
Hang on a minute. Give me a sec. Yeah, you can edit this out.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Who
else?
Giving me the wrong.
Oh no.
It's the right name, but the wrong player. If that makes sense.
So it's the same player twice?
No, I mean it's just someone with the same name, but it's not the Pompey player.
Oh, right, some random guy. That's what player was it? On like, if you look on Pompey's Wikipedia once, it had like the Pompey players on there. There's one of the Pompey players. It was like a random picture of some American guy. Can't remember what player it was now, but quite amusing.
brilliant.
If that's your thing.
Sort it out.
Which is mine.
This is bizarre because his info, I can't find it.
No.
It just keeps giving me the wrong player.
Just type in
there it is.
footballer.
I've got it. Right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
Have they played for us since 2000?
Yes.
Since 2010?
Yes.
Since 2015?
Yes.
Since 2020?
No.
Gareth Evans?
No.
Did they win League Two with us?
Yes.
Cal Naismith?
No.
David Ford?
No.
Matt Clark?
No.
Adam Webster?
No.
Connor Chaplin?
No.
Jamal Lowe?
No.
Nike Kabamba?
No.
Jesus Christ.
10 seconds.
Who the fuck was our left back? What do? Michael Doyle.
No. Final guess.
Gary Roberts.
Ding, ding, ding. You got there in the end.
No.
I was just like, let's just reel off the whole team or as many people as I can.
Right. Daz,
Yeah.
sorry?
You know what my first question is going to be?
Yeah. Right. Are you ready? Go. And the answer's no to your first question.
Have they won a trophy with Pompey?
No.
They played the 1990s?
No.
2000s?
Yes.
2010?
Oh, hang on. I'll take back the 2000s. 2010, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. 2015?
No.
Since 2018?
Oh, my dog's barking. No.
Okay, since 2012?
Yes.
They're striker?
No.
Defender?
Yes.
Joel Ward? Ricardo
No.
Rocha?
Correct.
Desmond.
2-2. Right, one more each, and if you're drawing, I'll think of some sort of tiebreaker.
Okay. We play rock, paper, scissors.
Why not?
Yeah. But like, what did you do, Harry? Oh, right, yeah, no, I did the other one.
Right. Are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
Go.
Have they played for us since 2020?
No.
2015?
No.
2010?
No.
2005?
No.
2000?
Yes.
Todorov.
No.
Are they a striker?
No.
Are they a midfielder?
Yes.
Oh, fucking hell. That's not fair. This is from before I started watching Pompey.
Good job you didn't say go second then. You were in all the 90s.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, I did think that. Midfielders from the 2000s. Matty Taylor?
No.
Did they win the championship with us?
No.
Oh, fuck. Did they play in the Premier League then with us?
No. Final guess.
Oh, what the fuck? So it's before... Oh, fucking, I don't know, mate. No idea.
No idea? Daz,
No.
who would you say is probably the best player you've seen in the Pompey?
Well, this Robert Prozinecki.
It was Robert Prozinecki.
Oh,
Well, to be fair, for me, it's probably Diarra.
Yeah, if you go, but Prozinecki, he didn't have the magic Prozinecki did, though.
And also Merson, he was pretty unbelievable. It's a tough one. You can make arguments for any of those players. I think
to be fair,
got you off your seat? Who got you off your seat more? Prozinecki, Merson, Diarra. The Diarra is probably not statistically, that's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Joe DeVera for me.
Technically, the best player we've had. But who got you out?
I suppose Prozinecki. I think they all got me out my seat. It's hard to. I didn't write down how many times I got my seat each time, but
you should have done. Why not? I've got a logbook.
Got a spreadsheet
of every player. Right. So you got a chance to win it now, then, Daz? Are you ready?
Yeah, I've got my first question.
Go.
Have they won a league with Pompey?
No.
Have they won a trophy with Pompey?
No.
All right, okay. Have they played since 2000?
Yes.
2005?
Yes.
2010?
Yes.
2015?
Yes.
2018?
No.
So, they're defender?
No.
Midfielder?
Yes.
Linganzi?
No.
Oh no, because
What a shout.
he won the league, didn't he? So I'm thinking like 2015.
Oh, which is
Jed Wallace?
No.
Not Stanley. I was going to say Stanley Abora then, but he won the league with Pompey, didn't he? Who's playing that?
Final guess.
Wow. So it's a midfielder, like 2015 onwards, I think. So it's before we won the league.
Doesn't necessarily have to be onwards. You asked between.
Balls, I did it. So 2010, 2015. Jesus. A midfielder. David Norris.
I did think about putting him in, but no. It was Andy Bartram.
Andy Bartram. Oh, that's my Hail Mary, wasn't it? Last week.
It was.
Or week before.
It was. So now I'm going to ask you both a tiebreaker that's got nothing to do with football.
How long is Russ's cock?
I was going to just go with what am I wearing, but straight in there.
How's I'm going to give you the advantage of either picking the number or if you rather see what Daz says and go higher or lower?
I'll wait and let Daz go first.
Okay. Daz, how many windows does Buckingham Palace have?
Oh, fucking hell.
Jesus, I was there last summer. Funny enough, I only counted half of them.
Double it.
What was the half?
Yeah.
Then double it. Then you got the answer.
That's very true. Jesus Christ! If I could, my other half, she'll know this. She loves the royal family. I mean, I love the royal family too. Oh my God, how many windows? And I know Harry's just going to go one up or one low.
Well, all he's got to say is higher or lower.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to say a number.
I'm going to say 185.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
It is higher. 760
Now.
windows.
My guess was going to be 700, to be fair.
Of course it was.
So, Has, you win this week. It's now Has 9, Daz 11.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Back in the game.
He's clawing it
I
back.
don't know why I guessed so low. That was ridiculous. I mean, I was going to go with 200.
I nearly laughed when I said it, but I couldn't because I knew Has had to go higher or lower.
I don't know why I said that.
I did think that was really low.
Yeah, I know. Don't know why.
And then also, when you asked about as a player won a trophy, I kind of was like, yeah, no, but what do you mean by trophy? Because technically Steve Claridge won player of the year, which is a trophy. So I was like, you probably won't be thinking of that. You'd be thinking more FA Cup League. But yeah, just to make that clear why I said that. All right, come on then, Hans.
Yeah, go on. Let's go.
That's right, ladies and gents. It is everybody's favourite time of the week. So, clue number 1. I have made only one appearance in the Premier League.
Well, that doesn't mean for Pompey, does it, really? Just one appearance in the Premier League. We had anyone that's technically not played in the Premier League? Because one appearance isn't exactly playing in the Premier League, is it?
Russ has disappeared.
I was about to say, Russ, help me out here.
Where's Russ gone?
I don't know.
Daz, you're on your own, mate.
Oh, jeez. All right. One Premier League. Oh, I think he's back.
He's coming. Don't know what happened there.
One Premier League appearance. That's odd.
Sorry, boys. My internet decided wasn't no longer connected.
Wow. Did you hear the clue?
I heard the clue and I gave a guess straight away. I can't remember his first name, but that fucking Aziz.
Miguel Aziz.
Miguel Aziz. I'm just gonna get the audio up.
He's going to do it one week because he mentions him all the time.
I like Russ's thinking. I'm going to go with another loan we had. Connor Ronan.
Good shout. Oh my God. That's the Hail Marys of all Hail Mary. That's beating your last Hail Mary.
That's ridiculous.
Well, to be fair,
ridiculous.
Russ gave me the idea of going for a loan that is a young loan that then obviously, because he was at Wolves, wasn't he? I'm guessing that was his
job.
So that gave me the...
That is just stupid.
Jesus Christ.
What was the other clues?
I played with Ben Tollett, Jed Wallace and Joe Mason.
Not at Pompey, I'm assuming.
But not Pompey. So Ben Tollett was Blackpool, Wallace and Mason were Wolves.
Yeah.
And then I made 16 appearances for Pompey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have got there in the end, but there's no guarantee. Yeah. So
I mean, that's ridiculous.
You're going to have to do another one now.
If I'm
that means you're going to have to add to your list.
I mean,
to make up the one.
To be honest, I've totally forgot Jed Wallace was actually at Wolves, but obviously he went to Wolves.
That's where he went. That's where he went.
That's where we got him.
Kenny Jacket as well, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
I've got up to Russ. Pick a number between 50 and 30.
40.
Okay. I was 40. 4 out of the 14 clubs I was at, I never made an appearance for.
4 out of the 14. Can I change the number? 4 out of the 14 clubs I didn't make an appearance for. It's a lot of clubs, though. 14, isn't it?
Do you reckon the 4 that he didn't was technically like academies? He went from one to the other.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe went in the like.
Oh, I'll tell you what is a shout: a goalkeeper.
Yes. Very much so.
Could have easily just been on the bench and never got on, or third choice.
100%.
And it might even be someone that didn't even play for us. Got someone like Daryl Flahaven in my head, and then he said Aaron. Then he never played for us.
He never did he? No.
I imagine he was a bit of a journeyman.
Yeah. Right.
Let's go. I'm going to go Daryl Flahaven. I'm going on the goalie route.
I think I'm going to stick with keepers as well. Journeyman goalkeeper. So I've got Ryan Alsop in my head, or maybe Ryan Alsop.
No, he was at Wickham a long time, wasn't he?
Maybe David Ford.
Yeah, I was just thinking someone like Ford.
Yeah, go on, David Ford.
I did have it hovered over the Blue Army chant because I just thought you'd Hail Mary it again. Right, clue number 2. I played with Lee Brown, Marcos Painter and Jason Crowe, but not at Pompey.
So, Bristol, like Lee Brown.
Jason Crowe? Did you say Jason Crowe?
Yeah.
Gee, that must have been right towards the end of his career.
I don't know. Well, Marcus Painter's been around a while. Jason Crowe. And who was the
Lee
third?
Brown. So that's
Lee Brown.
Bristol Rovers.
They've all been around a while, to be fair.
Bristol Rovers, Wimbledon. So where was Lee Brown up before Bristol Rovers? Because he was at Bristol Rovers for ages, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because didn't he score the winner for them?
He scored the one that got him out, and he got absolutely hammered afterwards, didn't he? Because don't forget, when Jason Crowe was with us, we signed him quite young. I can still remember him at Leeds. Well, he played with Norris at Leeds, didn't he? Because he mentioned Jason Crowe on the podcast, didn't he?
Yeah. So he could have been at Leeds. So when he played,
we got Marcus Painter, and we got. I'm no good at remembering 3 names. Who's the third?
Jason Crowe, Lee Brown, Marcos Painter.
Lee Brown. That's it. Lee Brown.
Because didn't Jamie Ashdown go up to Leeds? He did, didn't he?
He did.
And that would have been the same time as Norris then, because Norris, they all moved up there together, didn't they, pretty much? Him, Vardy, and Jason Pearce. All in the same season. Where Jamie Ashdown, would he have played with Lee Brown anywhere? I'm not surprised at that.
The only thing I can remember Lee Brown going, didn't he come through, I want to say, either Charlton or QPR Academy, London. But you're right, Jamie Ashdown did play for Leeds.
Yeah.
And did Marcus Painter play for Leeds?
Well done. I'm going to go with Jamie Ashdown.
Don't think he had 14 clubs though. Thinking about it, just as you said there, I thought, hang on, he ain't had 14 clubs. Maybe we're wrong on the goalie thing. I just thought it was, a lot of goalies just sit on the bench, didn't they, for most of their career. I'm sure Marcus Painter. No, we went through his clubs last time, didn't we? I don't think he did play for Leeds. No. Let's think of a goalie. What was that one that was shit?
How long you got?
How long have you got?
Well, replaced John Sullivan in goal. I can imagine he had a lot of clubs. What was his fucking name?
You got Trevor Carson, but I thought he was alright.
No, not Trevor Carson. I like Trevor Carson.
Who's the skinhead guy? Or
Smith. Was it
yeah.
Smith? What was his first name? Or you like?
Am I thinking Paul Smith?
Could be.
John Smith?
Let's go Paul Smith. Okay, not him. This is where we're gonna find out he has scored.
Yeah. Could be Begovic.
I came through the academy of them lot down the road.
I don't know if that out. I don't really pay attention to him. Quite often on a Saturday, unless it's like an obvious player, I hear all the Pompey fans saying Scummer, and I'm like, when did he play for Scum?
Yeah.
I'm like Googling it and go, oh yeah, he did play for Scum.
So we've got right. Just trying to think of certain players.
No goalies have come out. I think we went wrong with the goalie route.
What was his? I can't remember his first name. Surname was Robinson. We got him from Scum. He came over to us one season, but I'm just trying to think who else would have played for then. So he's played for Pompey and he's come through the Scum Academy. So, Lloyd Isgrove. Because it could be. We said Lloyd Isgrove.
No, I'm going to go for a goalie, and the only one I can think of that come through Scum's academy, goalkeeper wise, and I'm throwing a limb out here because we still don't know if it's a goalie, but they're more likely to have 4 clubs and not play for. But I'm trying to think of his first name. I also believe he didn't play actually a game for us. His last name's Poke, but I can't think of his fucking first name.
Michael Poke, isn't it?
I know he comes from Scum.
Yeah, I think it's Michael Poke.
And I know I'm going on the goalie route. Fuck it. Is it Michael?
I think it is. Yeah, because he had one ear bigger than the other, didn't he?
Yeah. He looked like a boxer, really, didn't he? Michael Poke. Hey, it was a goalie.
Yeah, it was. So
it was the most logical thing.
Yeah, he played with Lee Brown at Bristol Rovers.
Right.
Marcos Painter at Brighton.
Oh yeah, of course.
And Jason Crowe at Northampton.
I didn't even know Jason Crowe was at Northampton. I gave up with the players. I couldn't think of anyone. I was just going goalie, and the only one I could think of, the goalie that came out of Scum, was Poke. But I couldn't think of his first name.
And that also is correct. He didn't play a game for us. He was back up to Paul Jones.
That's right. Yeah,
he was our goalkeeping coach at one point, wasn't he? I swear.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Thought he was.
And the keeper you were on about was Phil Smith, not Paul Smith.
Paul Smith's the old designer, isn't it? I think.
He's a Scouse comedian, isn't he, Paul Smith?
He is, yeah.
That standard, just points at someone in the crowd, then swears at them, and then talks shit, and then walks off.
I don't think Daz really likes him, to be honest.
He's alright. It's just the same sort of thing rolling. It's just, it's okay.
He's alright, but some of them have been funny.
Yeah, no, I'm not his biggest fan, to be honest. But yeah, so what are we on now? Oh, so it's Harry's. Who am I done? Any other business, I suppose. As I said before we joined, my any other business was just going to be thoughts on the England games and Tommy Tuchel and sort of his comments, I suppose, about us at previous tournaments under. I mean, I don't think it's just under Southgate. I think it might have been just before that as well. Also before that, but yeah, what was your guys' thoughts on Tommy Tuchel and the job he's done so far?
Well, I can't remember if we spoke about it, to be honest, on the pod. I was dead against him. I'm a big believer in your players are English, so should your manager, or any, not even just that. If you're French, if you're Italian, if you're whatever. Because I always feel like, have you really got our best intentions, doing? But then on the flip side of that, you could argue, well, they probably have a more sensible head on, if that makes sense. I mean, they haven't got their heart in the way of the head.
Yeah, make logical decisions, maybe, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I was sold after his first interview.
Yeah.
And what he said about Southgate was true. It's what we've all said. And I don't know why he got flack for it, because everyone said it.
Yeah,
and he bang on. The players were too scared to lose. Go and watch the Spain game. You watch when Cole Palmer scores, the lack of celebrations, which I didn't notice at the time because I was too busy running around the house, was weird.
Yeah.
You just equalised in a final. You got a chance to go and win it. They should have been buzzing, pumping, and they didn't.
Yeah.
It was almost like they went, "Oh God."
And that's the thing, I don't think Tommy Tuchel, when he said, I keep calling him Tommy Tuchel, but when he came out with those comments, I don't think they were brutal or hard hitting, because I think it was just the way that Southgate set up. And I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking to myself that, that's the way Southgate was comfortable playing, and that's the way he wanted to play, and that's the way he should have done it. Because I don't want a manager or a coach that's going to try and do something that they're not comfortable with, because there's no point, because it won't be done properly and stuff like that. So if that's the way Southgate wanted us to play, it got us, and I know we probably sometimes had good runs and that lot, but it got us to those positions. It was just getting us over that final hurdle, which you'd like to think we might be able to do it this time. But I mean, I've seen people saying if we don't win the World Cup, it's a disaster or it's a failure. But I mean, you've got a lot of good countries in there. It's not like a given that we're going to go there and do anything.
Yeah, I think if anyone thinks, and not only that, there is no ever a guarantee. No. There's so many good countries out there at the moment. Don't get me wrong, I expect us to compete and do well. Well, look at the last World Cup. We outplayed France. I still think that was one of our best performances under Southgate, and the ref robbed us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kane didn't help us either, did he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's sometimes them find I never walked away from that World Cup blaming Southgate, because I actually thought that was one of his better. We went for it. And we never do that under Southgate. And maybe that was why they were in the Euros, because they thought, well, we went for it and we lost.
Yeah. You can't be like that. You got to, just because it didn't work the first time. It's different if you capitulate and you get stuffed. But you've got to do what's right for you.
Going out, I hate these World Cups and Euros now in 3 different countries. It's stupid. I don't get it. Then the next one's going to be even worse. Starts in South America and ends in Africa, doesn't it? Or Europe or wherever it is.
Something like that.
It's money.
And it's getting stupid now. In my opinion, it kind of ruins it. It should just be either in Mexico or Canada or America.
Yeah.
They're all big enough to host it.
Oh, definitely.
I don't mind it when it was like Belgium and Holland, 2 smaller countries right next to each other.
Yeah.
Or like us, I don't mind the England, Scotland, Wales. Again, it's all pretty close. No different to it being hosted in France. And it's, you can fit us in France how many times?
Yeah.
I mean?
But that's the thing, this is how different, I suppose, France is quite similar, but with America on its own is like 50 different countries in itself, and every state is so different.
Well, they have 3 different time zones.
Yeah,
don't they?
it's mental. You can in America you can do everything. One part of the country you can go skiing, one part you can go on the beach, one part you're in the desert, one part you're in tropical areas and stuff like that. It's so to not just America, to then have Canada and also Mexico in it. It just makes it even bigger. Which is, and the amount of teams that are in it now and stuff like that. It's just now you get Scotland and that lot in it, and it's you're only there because they've expanded it. It's just got easier to get in it now.
It's it's silly, it's stupid, but we're going back to England. I thought we done well. I thought we looked better under Tuchel than we did Southgate against them sort of teams, but you can't judge them against the Latvia or whoever. I can't remember who else it was we played.
Who was it? Who's the other black team? Albania. But I think that's what I said in our WhatsApp group. It's not about all you can do is win those games because they're qualifiers. Just win them. But as long as you can kind of see what he's trying to do, that's all you can ask for. Because you're in those games, you're damned if you don't. If you play them off the park and win 7-8-0, you're expected to do it. If you don't play particularly well, but you still win, it's a bad thing. And then obviously anything but a win is obviously a disaster, which it is, really, isn't it? Let's face it. But yeah, did you catch any of the games or?
Yeah, I watched it. That's just what it is. It needed to win. We won. Some of it was a bit boring, but they always are when you're playing those kind of teams. It doesn't matter really who the manager is. He wasn't going to be able to turn it around overnight because there just isn't the time. It's not like you get a pre-season as a club manager or anything like that. You've literally got a couple of training sessions before. I think it was something like he's got, 14 training sessions before the World Cup.
Yeah.
Which is no time at all. It's not going to be full Tommy Tuchel style, unfortunately. There's going to have to be something different just because he hasn't got the time to work with them. But it will be different. It will get better. It will deviate away from the football that we played under Southgate. The more the players get used to Tommy Tuchel, the better. The more the time they spend with him. And players are going to get called up but not play because, again, it's 14 training sessions. He hasn't got time to be able to fiddle around with a team. He's got to just play the best 11 and find the best 14, 15 players he's got and just keep playing them and get them used to the team he's got.
Yeah.
You think Harry Kane is guaranteed, is the first name on team sheet, irrespective of whether he's England captain or not.
Yeah, has to be.
He scored over 40 goals under Tuchel last season. And Tuchel signed him at Bayern. Yeah. So he's easily there. I think fullback is an interesting one. Obviously, 18 months ago, we kind of looked at left back and thought, oh shit, we literally have none. And then this season has been the real emergence of two in Miles Lewis-Skelly and Lewis Hall. And to be honest, I really don't mind which one starts.
No, true.
I think we probably would have seen Lewis Hall on one of the games, but because he's injured.
Then you also can throw in your Spence. I know they're technically right backs, but they've done well at left back. Spence and Livramento as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if they both carry on the way they are, they're also throwing their names into right back as well. Obviously, I think I don't know if Trippier has retired from international football yet, but I think he's probably not in the frame anymore anyway. Walker's kind of on the periphery. In a year's time, he might not be up to it, but then you'll have Trent playing at Real Madrid. You'll have Livramento. You've got Spence if he carries on his trajectory where he's kind of got into Spurs. I know Spurs aren't doing well, but he's kind of been a shining light there. If he can do another year.
My worry is our wingers.
No, I don't think so. Saka and Gordon, done.
But then, if they're not available, like Saka hasn't been, he's playing Rashford, who I don't even know why he's in the squad.
Well, yeah, but I think you've got some good talent in the under 21s or whatever they're called, the men's elite.
What I do like about Tommy Tuchel, what he said in some of his interviews after the games, is that he actually gives you he spoke like a club manager in some of his insights and what he wanted, and I wasn't sure about Rashford, about him, but the way he spoke about Rashford after both games made me think maybe that's not a bad thing, Rashford being in there, because certain things he described of what he wanted from him and certain little changes they got him to do in the second game, in the second half. I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't mind that now then, because it just felt like when Rashford has played for England in the past, there's no real plan. And I think maybe Tuchel, like Emery, might have a plan for Rashford and maybe give him that little lease of life.
Well, what's the plan for Foden?
Well, I don't think Foden. Russ, did you say you listened to the overlap earlier? Again,
Yeah, I didn't get to that they were still talking about Trent, but I know they're going to talk about Foden.
Yeah, I heard it.
And it is true. Like Foden hasn't done it for England yet, but again, he's one of those players where you think he could at any moment just go.
He's the number 10. He's not a winger, so playing him on the wing doesn't suit him. He needs to be able to play as the 10 and drift and just have that kind of free roam. He can go wherever the fuck he likes.
Yeah.
But trouble is, he's second fiddle in that position as well because, well, for me anyway, because I would be playing Declan Rice, Bellingham, and then Palmer as the 10.
Palmer has to get in over Foden for me.
Well, but the problem is you've got Bellingham there, right? So
yeah, see, I like it's the issue of I don't like Bellingham as a centre mid.
He needs
Not
to be
that I hate him as a
he
centre
needs
mid,
to be a box to box, really.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a 10 out and out. Obviously he's really good there, but for me he's not a proper 10 like Palmer. He is.
No.
If you have for me you have Declan Rice sitting, you have Bellingham as the box to box, and you have Palmer as your out and out 10. Gordon on the left, Saka on the right, Kane up front. As I said, 2 left backs, don't really care. It would probably be Gahey and Stones as my centre halves, Pickford in goal, and then would probably be. I would probably go Livramento, to be honest, at right back. I really like Livramento. He's really good.
If Reece James is fit,
mate, Reece James is never fit. He'll play for 4 games and then be out for half a season again.
Humour me. Reece James is fit.
What, over Tino?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the 2 I'd take. You take Trent, but again, I really don't know.
Oh, careful, we've got no scouters listening.
Okay, if you take 2 every position, right? I know Gareth Southgate took 4 right backs, but if you could only take 2 right backs, who would they be?
If fit, James.
And you can't leave an English player that's playing for Real Madrid out of a World Cup squad.
And the thing is as well, don't forget, like, Trent can play.
Squad's bigger now, though, isn't it? Don't you take 26?
Yeah, I'm just... Humour me. 2 players per position, though, normally.
See, Trent would be my, one that I would bring, but just because you could do it. I don't really like him there, but he can do a job in the centre mid. Do you know what I mean? So
I think I'm more comfortable with players doing that, like him getting moved into centre mid under Thomas Tuchel. So much more confident. And if certain players that can play in other positions, I'm more comfortable with the head coach we have now, because I think he's a better coach, and doing it at club level would have tried loads of other different things and knows how to slot someone in there.
I agree. That's why he's the only kind of real standout for the job. I think, as Russ said, I was never dead against it, because I think you need to get the best in class, and currently this is the best England squad we've probably had, and I think it's probably better than the golden generation, to be honest.
Squad, yeah. After, when you took Beckham off, it was Aaron Lennon. When you took, Michael Owen or Rooney off, it was fucking Darius Vassell. Do you know what I mean?
I think as a squad, individual players, there might have been some better ones, obviously.
Yeah, but as a squad, way better.
Yeah. And I think you need to have the best in class, because the only English manager that really I would have wanted, who was my number 1, was Eddie Howe. And he's not going to be leaving Newcastle anytime soon, and they didn't even talk to him. So Thomas Tuchel has won pretty much everything you can at club level. He's won the Champions League, he's won Ligue 1, he's won Club World Cup. He's there, he's available. Bring him in. If it goes wrong, it goes, never mind. Fucking tough. But no one apart from Eddie Howe, who his first real trophy of any significance was literally a few weeks ago, no one else is there. There's English. So you have to deviate. And if you want the best in class, unfortunately, it has to be a foreign manager.
Yeah, and like I was dead, as I said earlier, I was dead against it, but fully sold. And and Germans seem to do well at World Cups and Euros, so hopefully he can bring that sort of luck with us. But going back to your question, it'd probably be, if fit, Reece James and Livramento.
So you're leaving Trent out?
Trent would be one of the other. As I said, like it's 2 per position. There's 22 players. There's still 4 slots. Do you know what I mean?
3 because you
I
take
don't
3
like.
keepers.
I'm not a big Trent lover because I don't like broke backs that can't defend. Brilliant going forward. Don't get me wrong.
I think I would pick Tino just because Trent is basically all out attack. Reece James is a very defensive fullback, but I think Livramento is kind of in the middle. But obviously, Reece James he's worked under Tuchel and he's probably played some of his best football of his career under Tuchel at Chelsea. And that free kick was pretty spectacular. So if he is fit, I think he's playing himself into the conversation. I really do. But unless we probably could do with 1 or 2 kind of surprise packages coming through within the next 18 months.
Yeah, there'll be someone. Well, there'll be 1 or 2 that would just who might not even heard of, like an Adam Walton or something. I mean,
yeah, by then I think Adam Walton could be in with a shout of being involved in the squad as a DM because he's playing more for Palace. He's kind of doing well. He's doing well for the under 21s, the elite squad. And there's players in there that will be coming up. You've got the likes of Jared Branthwaite as well at Everton that's in there.
I honestly think people go on about our centre backs. I actually think we got an underrated centre backs. I just think because none of them play for Liverpool or Man City, they're underrated. I think Conser's a quality player.
He's too young. He needs more minutes. He's still quite raw.
But what a player he's going to be. The same with Braithwaite. I like Gay, I thought he was probably our best player at the Euros, or one of them.
Yeah. And I think the trouble is with Stones is he hasn't been fit a lot this year, but he needs to play more next year. If not, I don't know who plays with Gay. I think Gay starts. But
Gay's our number 1 centre back at the moment, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he can play either left or right because he's right-footed, but he plays on the left.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you wanted Branthwaite, you play Branthwaite and Gahey and move Gahey to the right.
Are you surprised Braithwaite was left out? Or was he injured and I missed that?
I think he was with the elite squad, or he might be injured, but I'm not overly surprised yet. I still think it's a bit too soon, but by the summer, maybe he gets a call up for the summer ones, or by September, October, you want to be getting in by then if you're him, and he might have even had a move by then to. He's linked to Man United almost every transfer window. If he goes to United or somewhere, then
a big step down.
Well, it would. But if he gets a move to a bigger club than Everton, he's
surely
probably more likely. Well, yeah. I mean, I would, but he's probably going to be costing you, 60, 70 million? Probably.
They're looking at that for Gay, weren't they? But then they want 90 Palace or something stupid like that.
Yeah, because the closer it got to the end of the window, the more they put their price up. But I think we're kind of just finishing off on England. I think we're in a positive place. I think we've got 5 more international groups to go for the World Cup. We just keep going as long as we keep winning. The more they play, the more they train with him, the more time he spends with them, the better. And I think if we can get to these internationals next year with a decent squad, we need players fit. Then I think we are with a good shout. We're not destined to win it because there's Brazil, Argentina are still about. France in Europe, there's teams that are there that can damage us and hurt us, but we'll be there or thereabouts for sure.
I think the way the World Cup's going to be, even though it's stupid how many teams are in it now, it is geared for us to be in it longer. You're not going to meet you're not going to meet the bigger teams till at least the quarterfinals. You're not going to get them in the group stages because you only get like 3 teams in the group stage, I think now, don't you? It's like a really weird. I don't know if you both looked at it. The new World Cup format is bizarre.
I haven't really looked at it, to be honest, but
have a look. It's weird.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
One last thing I want to bring up before we go, just quickly. The club versus country debate with Yengi, who I meant to bring up earlier. Boys, I know we kind of briefly talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we said in one of the other pods, wasn't it, that, like, for me, it showed where his sort of priorities lie. Like, and I know he might have looked at it as like, well, I can go there, get some minutes, like training and stuff like that as well. But I just think maybe it would have been better for him to stay. I know we obviously spoke about the club and what they could have done, but
they can only request.
No, yeah. But if a player wants to go, you can't stand in their way. It's just not. It's not the way it is. Like, you could say to him, "We'd rather you didn't go," but he's gone, and obviously now he's picked up that injury. It's obviously within hindsight, but I think we all said, didn't we, before he went, we were like, he's going to pick up another injury, like, because of how he's been this season. Yeah, and I don't think he's done himself any favours now. But again, you have to be in the room to have these conversations.
Yeah, but I also think if that was me and I was in another country and England were calling me up, I ain't saying no.
No, yeah.
I don't care what's going on. Like, you for him, as I said, if he refuses now to go and play, there's a chance the manager could go, well, you're not picking you again. Whilst I manage,
he's just come back from injury though.
But he won't see it. He might not see it like that. We don't know how Yengi thinks.
Yeah.
He might be like, if I don't go, I might not ever get back in the Australian squad. There's a World Cup coming up. This is my chance.
Yeah.
And I know that we could, we could say there's more games coming up, but he might know the manager and think that we've had it before where players have refused. Paddy Lane has not got back in the Northern Ireland squad since he refused to play for him.
No.
And the thing is like, I think what we have to understand is as well that I would guess that Yengi cares more about Australia than he does for Portsmouth, which is completely understandable.
Which I don't get why there's some people that seem to find that really hard to understand.
Yeah. Like, he's grown up in Australia. This is the first time he's been abroad playing football. And that was last season. So he's still going to be like, as you said, Russ, wasn't it? Like, if an England player went abroad and then wanted to play for England, things like that, like, we would be like, well, of course he wants to play for England. Like,
could you imagine Kane right now going, nah, sorry, I've got Champions League games coming up. I'm not going to go and play for England.
Yeah, no, exactly. And even though that we love Pompey, does Yengi? I don't know. Like, is there
not as much? You know
no.
what I mean?
Because obviously I think it's different with say Bishop, for example, because of what he's been through, and I think the club has stuck by him and the fans and what they've shown. Like, so his heart is probably right in Pompey now, where I doubt Yengi's is. Like, even though he's had a really good reception, he's going to want to play for his country.
Yeah. If he's got a chance, and he's not a starter, he's not a guarantee. He's not one of their star players. It doesn't matter. He's going to play anyway.
Yeah.
He's got to prove himself to them.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, I mean, the club over country thing, like, for me, I just, like, when people say, oh, like, would you rather your club win something than England win something? I'm not one. I don't really like getting into that debate, because for me, I just I want Pompey to win and I want England to win. It's never an either or. Like,
we were so close to the perfect summer.
Yeah, I suppose if you ask me now, because as long as Pompey stays in the Championship, if we didn't win anything for the next 5 years, I would take England winning a World Cup.
I'd probably say longer than that. I just think, when the whole country comes together and you go to work, everyone's buzzing. It doesn't matter who you support,
And that's the thing.
It's a different feeling.
Yeah,
I can remember asking I'm trying to think who it was. One of the more well-known Pompey fans on Twitter, and they were like, "Look, I was there for Shotnessi's header, and I was there for Ollie Watkins' goal against Holland." And he said, "I can tell you, I went more mad for Ollie Watkins' goal."
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when that Ollie Watkins goal, like I was in the pub with all my really good close mates, like Arsenal fans, Tottenham fans, Liverpool, Man United. Like my brother's a Man United fan, that sort of stuff. And it's that one moment where you can all celebrate together because when you go to the pub and watch Super Sunday, it's never the same. Obviously, if Tottenham are playing Saints, I want Tottenham to win, so I would celebrate. But it's not the same as all your mates all together celebrating.
No.
And when we went through against Denmark, I went down Winchester High Street, and like everyone was out dancing, like celebrating. It's amazing. I just wish like you could have that and us to win something.
Yeah, I mean, I was there when Luke Shaw scored that goal at Wembley, and that was probably the best goal I've seen live, to be honest. Even more so than Carnew's goal in the FA Cup, more so than Conor Shotnessie's goal against Barnsley.
Yeah, I can imagine it was.
Like that was just it was just unbelievable. I can't help that. It's not like I want it to be better. It just was.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing I don't get is surely you would want your country to win more than your club. Do you know what I mean? Because as a player, and I think the likes of John Terry and Gerrard and Lampard ruined that for everyone. I think you went back, Euro 96 and things like that. It was just the players wanted, and that's what Southgate did bring back. As much as you want to slag him off about tactics or defensive, he brought back that buzz that we hadn't had since.
And who did that at Pompey? Danny Cowley. And then the next manager won the league.
Well, there you go.
I think we should finish on that.
We might as well put another star on our shirt now. So
Tommy Tuchel going to win the World Cup because John Messino won League One with us.
Yeah, I'm just getting my pen out. I'm just going to go my England top. I'm going to draw it now. So is that us? I think it's good.
Yeah, it's a good place to put it.
Lovely. Well, cheers, guys. It's Blackburn at home on Saturday. Safe travels to everyone. Obviously, I know it's only a home game, but still people still get down there. And thank you for listening this evening. Anyone that was listening to us live on our X platform. Obviously, if you missed us on here, you can catch us up on all your podcast platforms, which will hopefully be put up by either this evening or tomorrow morning.
Also, now on YouTube, you can watch us, and actually on our own website as well. You can watch it on our website.
Lovely. Good work, mate. Let's hope for 3 points on Saturday and another step closer to safety. Until next week, up the Blues and play Pompey.